Agatha, what's a 5-letter word meaning from now until midnight, ending in Y?
Today.
Today.
What a waste. There's a million girls in this city, and you go to bed at 10 o'clock.
First, I have my eggs, and then we have these one-sided conversations.
I think it's a crying shame. A handsome man should be out dancing at night, not sleeping. Whatever became of the rumba?
Same thing that happened to the gavotte.
I used to love to do the rumba. Scum da da da, chicka chicka boo, chicka chicka boo, do 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 do, do do.
Yes, I think scrambled eggs would be nice.
I still say, a healthy single man should be out until dawn.
Which is exactly what this healthy single man did the night before last.
That doesn't count. You were on a case.
I'll get it.
I'll get it. Probably Mrs. Freelander. You don't want in on the football pool.
Yeah.
Coming. Two things she does well. Collect money and lean on doorbells. Yes?
Is the commissioner in?
Well, he's having breakfast. Won't you come in?
I won't be disturbing him.
You are disturbing me. And I love it.
Oh, Matt.
Agatha, I think the toast is burning.
What toast?
Mac, have you heard about Vanessa?
Who?
Vanessa Vale. I just came from the morgue. They called me down there to identify her.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, it was. It was just horrible. She was wearing the same housecoat that I'd photographed her in just last week. And that lovely amethyst ring.
Come on, Georgie, sit down. Let me get you some coffee.
No, it's all right. It just doesn't make any sense to say that that beautiful creature killed herself. Well, I mean, she had everything. Just 6 months ago, she signed a $250,000 modeling contract.
How well did you know her?
Fairly well. I'd used her often as a model. I mean, she was a photographer's dream. She had incredible bone structure and magnificent cheekbones.
Even beautiful girls get depressed.
Oh, no, not Vanessa. But I mean, she would get depressed, yes, but she just wasn't the type to jump off of a building.
After every suicide, somebody is bound to say he or she wasn't the type.
Yes, but Mac, this isn't just somebody saying it. This is me, Georgie.
Would you feel better if I looked into this?
Would you?
Well, do what I can.
Oh, you're beautiful.
If I find anything, I'll let you know.
All right, at lunch today.
Oh, well, no, I don't think I can...
Oh, no, you can pick me up at 1:30. Oh, you are a darling, Mac. I just knew that I could count on you. Poor Vanessa. Thanks, Mac. I'll see you later.
How did you ever let that one get away?
I'm beginning to wonder that myself. Charlie?
Good morning, Commissioner.
How's it going?
Terrible. I've gained 5 pounds in 2 weeks.
That's known as the executive syndrome.
Well, I never knew the paperwork could be that fattening.
What are you working on?
The Vanessa Vale case.
Can I see what you have?
Sure. Come on in. It's almost closed. Commissioner, would you care for a dietetic sour ball?
No, thank you. I'll have one of these.
It keeps your mind off of smoking, sir. Thank you.
The Vanessa Vale case?
Well, there isn't much to tell, really. Chief Paulson's pretty sure it was a suicide.
Well, I know somebody who would argue that one. Somebody a lot prettier than Chief Paulson. On the other hand, Chief Paulson is a commanding figure in his own right.
What about the Vanessa Vale case?
Oh, just wondering.
Well, you don't have to, Commissioner. It's under control. What's holding up the medical examiner's report?
I was just getting right on that, Chief.
If you don't stay right on top of them, nothing ever gets done.
Well, it's a good thing we got you, Chief. But are you sure it was suicide?
Commissioner, take my word for it. The lady's boyfriend gave her the brush off. She got depressed, took a dive. Simple.
What about the apartment? Any sign of forced entry?
Not a scratch. And, no note. But they don't always leave notes.
Time of death established?
3 eyewitnesses and a smashed wristwatch. Lieutenant?
Yes, Chief. Right here, sir.
No, that's pretty conclusive. On or about 12:20 a.m.
I'll have the rest of it nailed down before noon.
What about the lady's boyfriend?
Francois Balmain, 26, of French nationality. Seems to be an avant-garde filmmaker when he's employed, which he isn't right now. Let's see. 2 arrests for vagrancy, 1 for marijuana. Oh, and wanted for a deportation hearing.
That sounds like a pretty good catch for her.
We located his apartment. He wasn't there. But that doesn't necessarily mean he's involved in anything.
Did he leave any clothes?
They're gone. Okay, I've got that apartment staked out.
What?
I think Chief Paulson was just about to tell you about Mrs. Roberts, sir.
Okay. She's a neighbor. She saw Balmain enter the Vale apartment sometime between 10 and the time of death.
Yeah, well, that's a little vague. Did she see him leave?
She doesn't know. She isn't sure of anything. She's a lush. And she's the only one to put anybody else in that apartment even around the time.
Well, still, if her boyfriend might have been there, don't you think it might be a...
Put out an APB on Francois Balmain.
That light area you see around the hairline, Commissioner, is sort of a clay. It's this stuff. The remains of a cosmetic beauty mask. Those particles were taken out of the hair of the deceased.
You mean she plastered her face with a beauty mask and then jumped 15 stories?
That's weird. A beauty treatment right before you're going to kill yourself doesn't make any sense.
No.
I've stopped trying to deal with sense. I just deal with the facts.
What about this mark on her back?
Oh, come on, Mac. 15 stories? That's a lot of impact.
Yeah, but she landed on her face.
That's right, on the face.
Well, the scrape is on her back.
Well, maybe she slipped climbing over the wall. Maybe she clipped something on the way down. Mac, I'm not prepared to guarantee that she was in perfect shape before she jumped.
Commissioner, is it true that you're personally stepping into the Vanessa Vale investigation?
Sorry, Cliff.
Possible homicide?
Only if you don't get out of my way.
But you don't deny it?
You heard the commissioner.
Do you deny it, Commissioner?
No comment.
Next car, please.
But, Commissioner, all I'm trying to do is find out what this is all about.
She landed 47 feet from the building line, which means that she must have gone out about right here.
Look.
What?
Glass. Her watch crystal I'll bet you. You got some to play?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we'll check that out at the lab. Now, if it is... Yeah. If it is her watch crystal, how does she jump over and smash her watch at the same time?
You're asking me. I don't know.
And look at this. This plant holder. I'll bet that's what she hit her back on.
Yeah?
Look here. Hits it like so.
Right.
Smashes her watch right here.
Uh-huh.
And goes over backwards.
It's very possible.
You don't jump over a balcony backwards, you get pushed over. Now all we have to do is prove it.
Ah, she's beautiful, but she sure does like to look at herself.
Mm-hmm.
at this.
Expensive. Look. Test shots, Vanessa Vale. Photography, FB.
Francois Belmont.
The boyfriend. We ought to run this stuff. Look, here's a projector.
All right.
Screen?
Yeah.
Well, what's going on here? Nobody's supposed to be in here. The girl that lives here lived here.
You must be Mrs. Roberts.
You're the police.
I'm Commissioner McMillan. This is Sergeant DiMaggio.
No relation.
To whom?
To Joe DiMaggio.
I thought you were no relation to Howard DiMaggio. He's the West Coast Wine and Spirits, you know.
Could you tell us anything about Francois Belmont?
He's the boyfriend. He was in this apartment and he left here last night. I told the other policeman that.
You said he left after 10. I was hoping that now that you thought about it,
Oh, I have.
you could be more precise.
Well, now that I've thought about it, maybe it was before 10. Maybe it wasn't even last night. I get so involved in my wine tasting.
We understand.
But he definitely was here recently. Yelling and screaming.
Yelling and screaming about what?
You know, the way they behave together. Kiss, kiss, lovey-dovey. And then 10 minutes later, he'd be throwing things. Ah, the way young people behave today. If they just would have wine with their meals. Oh, why don't you both come back to my apartment? I'm tasting the Napa Valley today.
No, thank you, Mrs. Roberts. Shouldn't this food be refrigerated?
Oh, yes. Thank you very much. You know, I don't know what all the fuss is about. Is it a crime to kill yourself without a license? Goodbye to you both. Nice meeting you.
Hello. Oh, hi, Lieutenant. Yeah, it's Lieutenant Enright. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, I'll tell him, Lieutenant. Bye-bye. Sir, it's about Francois Belmont. He's up in a flea bag on Union and Polk Streets. And there's some guy there with him now. A black and white is on its way.
Help me up. Take the stairs. He went in there. Go back down and head him off.
There's a lot of access out of that building. I don't know where he went. Uh-oh.
You got away, Commissioner.
Oh, good. Otherwise, I'd have to ask a lot of questions and write down all the answers. What about his friend?
He's still up in the apartment. I think.
Tell me,
Is there a law against giving shelter to a former friend?
You knew he was wanted, didn't you?
Yes.
It's called harboring a fugitive.
So what are you gonna do? You gonna arrest me?
Depends.
On whether I inform?
On whether you cooperate. By giving us information which, whatever your former friend did or did not do, may save his life.
Look, we made films together. He understood the camera and how to make a statement with it. We made films that really meant something. And then?
And then he met Vanessa.
Yes, and then he met Vanessa. And she taught him how to make pretty pictures. She put dollar signs in front of his eyes. Before he'd even had a chance to perfect his talent, she made him go commercial. He was gonna have a big name, fast and cheap.
And he went for that.
And he went for her. I mean, can you blame him? She was gorgeous.
Yes, she was.
But I knew it wouldn't last.
Why?
Because he finally got tired of her, and then he found another girl.
Who?
I don't know her name. I told you, Francois and I haven't been very close lately. But he did say that there was another girl, and that's what he and Vanessa were arguing over last night. And that when he left, she was screaming at him. And then we heard this morning that Vanessa was dead, and that later your people showed up, and Francois took off.
You know where he went?
No. And if I did...
And if you did, you'd tell us. And if he gets in touch with you, you better tell him to turn himself in, because if he killed Vanessa, or if he didn't kill Vanessa, he's liable to get himself shot.
Look, you came home to relax and have a cup of coffee. So why are you working? What? Oh, you're not working. Hey, that's what I call a real looker. That's Vanessa Vale.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mind if I give you a little advice?
Gonna get some, aren't I?
Go after a live one.
All right. Hold on a second. I'll check the negative. Right.
Poor baby. She wasn't pie to work with, but she was dynamite in front of the camera.
I'm going to miss her.
Oh,
I'm not. I won't be the only one.
what is that supposed to mean?
If the shoe fits.
Well, I'll miss her. She was always very sweet to me. And besides, she had great taste in men. I wonder who'll get custody of Francois.
Beulah has dibs, don't you, love?
We are not amused.
He's talented, that Francois.
And rude, arrogant, intense.
And sexy as all get out.
Yes, Vanessa certainly had everything.
All that, and Murray's star, too.
What man can make, man can break.
You think Murray changed his mind about her, and that's why she,
I think maybe his wife changed it for him.
That's cheap. Mr. Starr had no personal interest in Vanessa. She was obsessed with Francois, and Mr. Starr respected that.
Oh, dear, Mr. Starr.
I think you're all horrible. Vanessa not even buried yet. I won't listen to another word of this.
Oh, Mac, that was Beulah Harrington playing friend of the deceased, and not too convincingly.
Oh, I'm right on time.
I'll just go up and get my jacket. Meg, would you please introduce our guest?
A pleasure. Hi. Been
Meg,
too long.
Long time. Is that Vanessa?
Yes. Those were for the brochure. Maurice Starr built his whole campaign around her. She was his personal discovery.
How personal?
Personal. This is Guy Bregan, the art director.
How do you do?
And Ernie Hovings, the account executive for Star Cosmetics.
How do you do?
And this is Mac, Commissioner Stuart McMillan.
Commissioner?
Police commissioner, and my date for lunch.
We were just discussing the Vanessa Vale suicide.
Yes, we don't understand why she killed herself.
Perhaps she didn't.
She might have been murdered?
You mean somebody pushed her off that balcony?
Excuse us, but I've made a reservation for lunch, and I'm afraid we're going to be late.
Obviously for two. Right, Commissioner?
Nice meeting you.
You have a feeling you have been wanted.
Shall we?
Georgie, I'm going to have to take a rain check.
Oh, Mac.
Business.
Okay, but you owe me.
Agreed.
Dinner here tonight, 7:30, and no more rain checks.
You're beautiful. Star?
Commissioner?
You do?
Come in.
Thank you.
You're here about Vanessa.
Yes, you were close friends, weren't you?
People say I created Vanessa. I invented Vanessa. I fashioned her in all her beauty out of a naive, untutored young woman. We became good friends. Of course, she had other friends.
How she fixed her enemies?
None that I know of. Does it have to be an enemy? What about a burglar, housebreaker?
No, that's unlikely. A burglar would have stolen her jewelry. There was expensive photographic equipment.
Balmain stuff.
Do you know him?
I told you she had other friends. Francois Balmain was one of them. He photographed her well. She never realized it was impossible not to.
I take it you don't care for Mr. Balmain.
More important, I knew he was bad for Vanessa, wasting her time, her talent. The irony is that yesterday at lunch, she finally saw the light. She was going to break up with him. Say, you don't think that I had anything to do with it?
How does your wife feel about Vanessa?
A good question. I wish I could answer it. I never asked her.
And she never volunteered.
My wife and I have an understanding. We respect each other's identity and each other's associations.
Very progressive. Still, I'd like to talk to her.
Why not, as soon as she gets back from Caracas? She left last Friday.
I take it she wasn't here then when... how about you, Mr. Starr?
When Vanessa was killed. Aren't you supposed to read me my rights before?
Well, you do have the right to remain silent in the event that you waive...
Forget it. I was taking a drive last night.
After midnight?
Some people do drugs, some do booze. I do driving late at night. It relaxes me.
You stop any place?
I never stop anywhere.
Not even for gas?
You know, you're right. I did stop for gas.
Where?
Just off the Bayshore Freeway, I guess.
Your gas?
I didn't write it down.
No, of course not. Thank you, Mr. Starr. We'll, check it out.
I'm sure you will.
Unless, of course, there was somebody with you to back up your story.
Sorry.
You were alone.
I sometimes am.
Do you remember this one?
You were a lot younger then.
You weren't.
You're sweet. You know, that was the first picture that I ever had published. I guess you were lucky for me.
Come a long way, Georgie.
I hope you're in the mood for ceviche.
Huh?
Ceviche. It's raw fish. Don't you like raw fish?
Did you make it?
Of course I made it.
Then I'll love it.
Good. Then I'll eat the steak.
Well, I don't want to deprive you.
Then don't.
Cheers. It's good to see you laugh.
I haven't much today, have I?
Vanessa's death hit you pretty hard, didn't it?
Yeah, I still can't believe she's gone. Makes me look at everybody in a funny way. Hate myself for my own suspicions. Well, Beulah, for instance. Oh, Mac, this is shameful, but she seems to be the only one. Well, I mean, she's going to get Vanessa's contract. I don't like to say it, but...
You mean Beulah is the only one who will benefit from Vanessa's death?
Yeah. $250,000. Tons of publicity. And the way I hear it, a new patron.
New patron?
Murray Starr.
Did Beulah have anything to do with Francois?
Oh, no, never. But that wasn't Beulah's fault. Anything that was Vanessa's, Beulah wanted. You. Mac, what are you thinking about? Don't say it's me.
It's not you.
Oh, what a terrible thing to say. It's her, isn't it?
With those eyes. What's behind those eyes?
Oh, there's everything behind those eyes. That's what made Vanessa what she was. It's not all there in those stills. You'd have to see the way she smiled, the way she moved.
Right.
Where are you going?
To the movies.
Great. You know how long it's been since I've seen a good film?
Alone.
What?
I won't be long. Will you trust me?
Francois? Please, don't hurt me. Take anything you want.
Vanessa?
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Okay. I'll go first. I'm investigating a murder.
Whose?
Yours.
I'm sorry, I just don't follow you.
Where have you been?
Up in the Sierras. I have a cabin there.
And I suppose there's no television or radio.
No electricity, as a matter of fact.
Otherwise, you'd have heard about your own death. At 12:20 last night, someone was pushed off of your balcony.
Oh, no! Oh, my God! It was Louise.
Who is Louise?
Louise Sherrill. She's my best friend. She's a travel writer. Whenever she's in town, she stayed with me.
Could she have worn your clothes?
We shared all the time. But who would want to kill Louise?
Maybe nobody wanted to kill Louise.
But somebody. You mean somebody thought it was me?
Did anybody know you were out of town?
Only Louise. She called me about 20 minutes before I left. I told her she'd have the place to herself. I wanted to get away. There was something I wanted to think through.
Did anybody see you when you drove to your cabin?
There's no road, just an airstrip. I flew up myself. The plane's on long-term loan from a friend.
Murray Starr? You know, Vanessa, in investigating your murder, I've learned a great deal about you. I feel as though I know you. Yes?
Commissioner, yeah, I've got a gas station attendant here who says that he remembers seeing Starr last night about midnight.
Was he alone?
No. No, according to the attendant, he was with a dynamite brunette.
He's sure it was Starr.
Well, he identified his picture.
Okay, thanks.
You don't suspect Mary Starr?
The only person I rule out is Mrs. Starr. Anybody who as much as knew you is under suspicion. Guy Bragan, Ernie Hoving, even Georgie?
No. But if you want a candidate, try Aaron Leacock. The director, he hates me.
Let's talk about Francois.
Francois. He's got to be told I'm all right. Have you talked to him, too?
No, but I've tried. He's on the run.
But why would he?
Usually people who are on the run have something to hide.
Or if they're afraid someone will suspect them. Francois' no angel, Commissioner. But he's no killer. He does have a criminal record. And we had a fight last night.
What about?
The usual. Marriage. He wanted to. I didn't. Then he told me we either get married right away or we split. That's why I wanted to go away and think it through. It's all my fault. If I hadn't gone away...
Well, we gotta get you out of here. Somebody, we don't know who, thought he killed you. Killed your friend instead. But he or she doesn't know that. I'd like to keep that advantage. I want you to play dead. Hide out, disappear.
Hide out? Where? Back at my cabin?
No. Back at my cabin.
Agatha! Agatha!
Hi, Commissioner.
Take your coat.
Oh. I'm not seeing what I'm seeing.
You are seeing. But you're not telling what you're seeing. Nobody's to know she's alive.
Vanessa.
Now, she's going to be staying with us for a while. I want you to prepare the guest room.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Is that the best arrangement you could make?
Wait, you... How about a drink?
No, thanks. I feel kind of drained. I think I'll just get a bit of sleep.
Okay. Talk tomorrow. Vanessa. Did anybody else beside Louise have a key to your apartment?
Francois.
Good night.
Still not right. The drape isn't hanging properly. Can't you see it's loose in all the wrong places? Ugh, not that tight. Now I can't breathe. It looks awful.
Miss Harrington?
Yes? Commissioner?
Ma'am, do you think you could stick pins into somebody else for a while?
I could, but my heart wouldn't be in it.
Miss Harrington.
Call me Beulah.
Beulah. According to your statement, you were in bed when Vanessa Vale was murdered.
That's right. But of course, I don't have any witnesses, Commissioner.
How about the gas station attendant who saw you with Murray Starr?
In my bedroom?
No, at the station. You do remember being out with Murray Starr, don't you?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure whether you were in your own bed or out driving around with Murray Starr? It's very interesting. Because you were at a gas station not far from Vanessa's apartment somewhere around midnight. Vanessa was murdered at 12:20.
You don't think I... You can't possibly.
When all else fails, Beulah, try the truth.
Yes, I was with him. But we never went near that building. And just because we were together doesn't mean there's anything between us. I got this letter, and I called him because I thought he ought to see it. That's why we were together that night.
What kind of letter?
A letter accusing me of having an affair with Murray Starr. It was a threatening letter.
Of course it wasn't signed.
No, but I was pretty sure who it was from.
Murray Starr's wife?
Mm-hmm. Murray tore it up and threw it away. He said I should just forget it.
He told me they had a very progressive relationship.
That's what Murray always said. But I guess deep down, Jenny Starr had her pride.
Was that all, Beulah?
That's all, Commissioner. Swear it.
I guess so. I'll be better when you're here, though.
I ought to be home in about 45 minutes.
Tell him I'm making a banana souffle.
Mac, Agatha said to tell you she's making you a banana souffle.
Yes, I heard. And tell her I'm only coming home for lunch, not to a state banquet. I'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
You ready?
Oh, what? For what?
Well, something elegant yet unpretentious would be fine. I'm not particular.
Oh, lunch.
Yeah, our date, remember?
Well, Georgie, something's come up.
Oh, well, you can tell me about it over my lobster salad, darling. I'm starved.
I've got to cancel. I've made an appointment.
Oh, it must be terribly important. Break it.
I can't.
Oh, now, Mac, what business could be more important than me?
Oh, Georgie, you're not being fair.
No, of course I'm not. But good little sport that I am. Why don't I drop you off?
Oh, no, it's way out of your way. Besides, I have my own car. Thanks.
Oh, no, it's no trouble at all. Where are you going?
Georgie, I'm going home for lunch.
Oh, how quaint. How marvelously old-fashioned of you. Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't I go along?
I said it was business.
Yes, I know what you said. And now you listen to me. I called Agatha a little while ago because I wanted to find out your favorite restaurant around here so I could surprise you and take you to lunch. And she hemmed and she hawed, and she finally told me not to bother because you wouldn't be able to make it. And the way I piece it together is that you've got a romantic little tryst waiting for you back at your apartment during my lunch hour. And don't try to tell me about her, Commissioner. I don't want to know.
What was that?
Oh, just a little attack of jealousy.
Well, I guess it's nice to know that somebody cares, sir.
Oh, thank heavens you're here. I've been trying to get you all day.
Your banana souffle fell.
She's gone. Vanessa, gone. Oh, I was in the kitchen whipping up my banana souffle, just talking about this and that, and she was in here on the phone.
You mean you were talking to her while she was talking on the phone?
Oh, you know how I do that.
Yes, I do know.
Then when I realized she wasn't answering me, I figured she was just ignoring me. You know, like you do sometimes when you're on the phone.
I'm sorry.
Don't mention it. Anyway, when I came in here, she was just gone.
Do you know who she was talking to?
Well, she sounded very weepy, like she was pleading with somebody. I figured an ex-husband.
No, she's never been married.
Well, why was she crying?
Do you remember anything she said?
That would be eavesdropping.
Do you remember anything she said?
Well, before she left, I looked in, and she was saying, please, you've got to tell me. I'll do anything. I'll do any... I think she said, I'll do a walk-on for you. I'll do a cameo bit. I'll get you a release. Does that make any sense?
Come in. No, financing is no problem. And we'll have a... Arnold, I'll talk to you later. All right, what do you want?
Congratulations.
On what?
I hear you're going to make a picture. Vanessa going to be in it?
Maybe.
Wrong answer. You're supposed to say, are you crazy? Vanessa's dead. You knew she's alive, didn't you? You knew we were investigating a murder. Why didn't you tell us?
I didn't tell my mother either.
Withholding information? Harboring a fugitive? Adds up to a felony. Now, if I make one little phone call, you won't make your picture for quite some time. Where's Francois?
I don't know. He calls in every now and then, but he never tells me where he is. And that's the truth.
DiMaggio, any messages?
Oh, yes, sir. A lady called here for you. She said it was important, but she wouldn't leave her name. Said for you not to worry, that you'd understand.
And of course, she didn't say where she was.
No, sir. But wherever it is, there was an engine in the background. What, a boat? Maybe a race cars?
A plane?
Well, not a jet plane, sir. A jet goes, not,
A private plane?
Maybe.
Thanks, Sergeant. Out, Vanessa. What do you think you're doing? You're going up to the cabin, aren't you? Francois is up there.
He left a message for me on my answering machine.
He finds out you're still alive, and his first move is to get you to go up to an isolated mountain cabin? What does that sound like to you?
He loves me, Mac.
Like hell he does.
Don't give me logic. He loves me, and I'm going up there.
All right. I'm going with you.
You'll arrest him?
I'll talk to him first.
You're sure you can fly this thing?
I'm the Red Baroness. You've got to try to understand, Mac. Francois' hiding because he's afraid that the police will try to connect him with Louise's death.
Did he know her?
Well, they'd met, and he knew me, and he does have a police record. Uh-oh.
What's wrong?
Elevator's gone. We've lost up and down control.
Hope you can land this thing.
If we're lucky, by jockeying the throttle and the trim tab.
so good.
Landing's the tough part. Cable. It snapped.
Mm-hmm.
How could that have happened?
How could it not happen? Most of the strands have been cut, see? Only one strand left.
Who?
Who do you think?
Francois?
He's the only one who knew you'd be flying this plane today.
Mac, I'm sorry about today. About running off without telling you.
I'll forget it.
People do funny things when they're in love. When they think they are. I don't know what to think.
Why don't you get some rest?
Okay. Good night.
Good night. Yes.
Mac, I'm sorry to come barging in on you like this, but I just hope that you'll forgive me.
Oh, nothing to forgive.
Oh, well, then you're not angry with me for that dumb little tantrum I threw.
Of course not.
I didn't have any right to do that, did I?
Why don't we talk about this tomorrow? I've got a lot of things I have to do.
Georgie! Well, it's just like Grand Central Station, isn't it? I mean, with all of us meeting at the door at the same time, night all.
Something's going on.
Oh, why don't we go see?
No. Somebody else is here.
Where? There's nobody here.
Well, then you won't mind if I take a look for myself?
Georgie, if you open that door, something in our relationship is going right down the drain. It's called trust.
Oh, Mac, now, I want to trust you.
It's your decision, not mine.
Oh, Mac, I'm sorry.
Georgie, I really have work to do.
All right, look, I don't want to bother you, but if there's anything that I can do to help, then please let me know.
I promise.
Well, it was a lovely evening, even though it didn't last long.
Good night.
Will you call me tomorrow?
I promise.
All right.
Oh, Georgie, you finish shooting your campaign
With Beulah?
tomorrow, don't you?
Right.
Well, why don't you have a party? Invite all your friends. Nothing elaborate.
Well, sure. What time?
Oh, 5-ish. Let's make it a cocktail party.
Right, done.
Terrific.
Now, you sure that you don't want to tell me what all this is
I'm
about?
positive.
Good night.
Good night.
I would like a glass of milk.
Kitchen's all yours.
Busy household.
Mac, I just wanted to tell you how happy I am that I never opened that bedroom door.
Good night, Georgie.
Good night.
You better get out of here before I change my mind. Good night.
Good night.
I'm coming. Agatha. Oh, hi there. Sure, just a minute. Commissioner!
Right here. Agatha, do you realize that there are employers who would like to have their phones answered by something like, Commissioner McMillan's residence?
Well, you see, I say Agatha, and they know it's me. Then I put you on, and they know it's you. Oh, by the way, it sounded urgent. Sergeant DiMaggio.
Yes, Sergeant.
Aaron called in. Very cooperative.
Something about Francois?
Yes, sir. He's holed up in a furnished room at 3133 Olive Street, according to Aaron.
Got it.
Oh, Commissioner, Aaron had a special request for us. He said it's the reason that he's helping us out.
I know. Bring Francois back in one piece.
That's right.
Well, that's up to Francois.
Don't tell me you aren't going to have breakfast.
Okay, I aren't going to have breakfast.
Well, good. It's all the more for me. I like my cooking.
And speaking of cooking, if you lose Vanessa again, I'll boil you in oil.
Boiled Agatha. Ugh.
Rights.
Oh, Commissioner, it's the French police. They're answering your inquiry.
Thank you. Send him in, please. Sit down, Francois. This telex is about you, Francois. One arrest for assault on a girlfriend. Another for starting a free-for-all at a rally. Another for instigating a night fight in a cafe. You're what the law might term violence-prone.
I'm flattered.
It could sway a jury.
I did not do anything to earn a jury.
Maybe. We know a witness who saw you leave Vanessa's apartment the night of the murder after a loud argument. Was it about Murray Starr? Was it jealousy? If you couldn't have her, nobody else could?
Sir, did you...
No, here. Huh? Suppose you left Vanessa's apartment and then came back and found her on the terrace. That was your opportunity. You could push her over the railing. When did you first find out you killed Louise, not Vanessa?
I did not kill anybody.
Where were you yesterday morning? You were supposed to be with Vanessa up at her cabin. You were the only one who knew she'd be flying. You cut the cable on her plane.
That's a very interesting story, Commissioner. Don't waste it. Sell it to the television.
Well, if I'm wrong, you could straighten me out.
Would you believe me? Would you believe a violence-prone, marijuana-smoking foreigner who does not conform to your bourgeois mentality?
Try me.
Believe what you want. You will anyway.
All right, Francois, thank you.
Meg, babe, you better get upstairs and get ready.
But they're early.
I know. Murray, darling, you're early. But I'm so glad that you could make it.
It needs to be made right now as a drink.
Oh, well, fine. The bar's right over there. You look stunning, Beulah.
Thanks. Murray's pleased with the proofs.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Do you know, Georgie, they're not as good as the ones you did of me way back when.
Oh, but darling, I was younger then.
Well, Beulah, have you seen the pictures? Are you happy?
Well, frankly, I've been shot better.
Next time we'll shoot you with the Colt 45.
So where to, sir? Georgie's place?
Hmm? Oh, no. First to my apartment. Are you getting taller, or is it my imagination?
Oh, no. It's just the cushion. I had a rough time getting the department to issue it, but I told them it was for your comfort.
Your pillow is for my comfort.
Well, it's true in a way. You see, it's tough for me to drive with the seat pushed all the way back, and if the seat is not pushed all the way back, then there wouldn't be enough room for your legs.
Oh.
So if I sit on a cushion, then we're both about the same height.
Well, of course. That's the answer.
To what?
To what I saw and didn't see. Thank you, Sergeant.
For what?
For helping me solve a murder.
I think you're gonna love these shots. I've made Beulah look like an undergraduate.
Thank you.
More champagne for everybody.
And this is the young lady we're celebrating. Now, where are those photographs? I can hardly wait.
Just a minute. Meg, how we doing?
Coming right up.
Guy?
Right. Fabulous.
Sensational.
They're just great.
It's a triumph.
I told you so. Mac, darling, what a surprise. Am I overdoing it?
Just a little bit.
That's me, all right.
I'm sorry to ruin your party. Hello, Mr. Starr.
Commissioner?
Afternoon. Very nice.
Thank you.
Hello.
Commissioner?
Hi. But I did bring somebody to liven it up. Will you come in, please?
Vanessa, we thought you were...
Vanessa, this is your idea of a great show. It was very
She was my house guest.
Just had the sense to put a dime in the telephone and called it. Why didn't you tell really very. This is incredible. What I mean was some sort of a joke, Vanessa. Just had the sense to put a dime in the telephone and called it.
Don't, Francois. Don't look at me like that. I didn't tell the police, Francois.
You didn't tell the police what?
I didn't tell anything.
Go on, tell him.
I didn't tell you the real reason I left town that night. We had an argument. Francois left. I tried to sleep, but I couldn't. It didn't matter anyway. He called. He warned me that if I didn't give up my career and if I didn't give up my friendship with Marie Starr, he said he'd kill me. He sounded crazy, like he was on something. He started screaming and he cursed at me. He said he was coming right over to settle things once and for all. I was frightened, so I hung up and got out of there as soon as possible. But he came back, and he killed the wrong person by mistake.
Lies. Lies. She's gone mad.
When I came back, you tried to kill me again. You cut the cable on my plane.
How can you believe that? It was true. We argued that night. But it was not about Mary Starr. It was about another woman. I was in love with her. Vanessa found out about it. I was her possession. She owned me.
Not a word of this is true.
I left her and her screaming. I went home, but she didn't let me rest. I got a phone call. She said if I was not back in 15 minutes, she was going to throw my camera in the incinerator. She knew where that camera was to me. So I came back. And outside the building, there were people. A man said somebody had fallen from a building. So I pushed through to take a look. It was Louise. It was Louise, you see. She was dead.
How could you be sure it was Louise?
The amethyst ring. I gave it to her. It was my grandmother's.
So Louise was the girl you were in love with?
Yes.
But that was Vanessa's ring. I photographed her wearing it.
No. Louise just loaned it to her for the pictures. She didn't know Louise was wearing my ring.
So you saw Louise, the girl you were in love with, dead, lying on the sidewalk, and then you just turned around and walked away?
All I could think about was myself. Saving my skin. Somehow I knew that she didn't just fall. That it could not have been an accident. That she had been pushed over that balcony. And I knew I would get the blame for it. My fingerprints all over Vanessa's apartment. My police record. Yes, I ran. For all the wrong reasons. But I am not a murderer.
He's lying. I never knew about him and Louise.
How tall are you, Vanessa?
5'4".
5'4". I'm 6'4", and yet when we sat in the plane together, our heads were the same level.
Maybe the seats are different.
No, you were sitting on a parachute.
I always do.
No, you don't. Because in the movie that Francois shot of you, you weren't wearing any.
I'm a very good pilot.
I know.
And a parachute, Mac, they're not really required. And anyway, the straps wrinkle my clothes.
Why were you wearing a parachute when I flew with you?
I don't know, I just did.
I'm saying you plotted to get rid of me. After leaving all your little clues lying around, you knew I'd show up at the airport. You were waiting for me. No, you wore a parachute because you cut the cable yourself. But you didn't know how long it would hold. Suppose it gave out when we gained higher altitude or flew over the Sierras. Then you'd have jumped, and I, without a parachute, would have been killed.
Mac.
It's not difficult to explain. After all, I did insist on going with you. Very clever.
You can't really believe this.
Why would anybody want to kill me? Was I getting too close? That got me to thinking. Why did you leave those beauty mask instructions on the mirror? You didn't need them.
If Louise hadn't tried that mask...
You learned to use that stuff for the photography. You didn't leave them there. You put them there.
Why would I?
To get rid of Francois and Louise at the same time. And the only way you could get rid of them both was to frame him for her murder and make it look like an attack on you. That was very, very clever. It was.
Do something. You're my friend. Help me.
You don't need a friend, my darling. You need a lawyer.
Booker.
Thank you.
Georgie, if you open that door, something in our relationship is going to go down the drain. It's called trust.
Mac, now why couldn't you trust me?
I trust you with my life.
Well, then why couldn't you tell me about Vanessa?
Because a good cop keeps his mouth shut, especially to over-inquisitive, gorgeous blondes. Here, I need a drink.
No, you've had enough.
No.
Well, then you knew Francois wasn't guilty, even before you got the two of them together for that little showdown?
I found out 10 minutes before we got here. See, we were riding in the car. And...
Yeah.
Don't ask. If I can't have another drink, how about something to eat? I'm getting hungry.
I've got couscous cooking.
Huh?
Couscous.
Sounds plural.
Vanessa, how wrong can you be about somebody? Well, I suppose the only thing that matters to me about a woman is her cheekbones. Now, with men, it's different. I think I'll shoot you photographically.
Oh, that's a relief.
Let's set up a date for a session. How about next Wednesday afternoon?
Do you work at night?
Oh, beautifully.